Hi there, I'm Rob Franick. I'm editor-in-chief here at the Princeton Review, and our point of discussion today is all about the new FAFSA form. That's, of course, the free application for federal student aid, and some of the very contentious happenings that are going on right now regarding this year's financial aid awards. So buckle up, friends, because we're going to be talking about the biggest changes for the FAFSA form and the biggest problems with the new application. And I'm just going to say this out loud from the get-go. The sticker cost of college can be daunting. At some universities, sticker costs are going well above the $80,000 mark a year. We know this very well here at the Princeton Review because every year we collect data from thousands and thousands of schools about their tuition, their room and board, their fees, their books, any other charges. On average, private schools are charging about $53,000 per year and public schools about $23,000. Now, if you are worried about affording college, you are not alone. 98% of college applicants and their parents that we polled last year at the Princeton Review on our College Hopes and Worries survey. I'm going to put all of the survey findings as well as all of the supporting data in the info card below. On that College Hopes and Worries survey, students and parents told us that they need financial aid to pay for college, period. And forgive the pun here, but there is silver lining in this financial aid process. Most college students will get some form of financial aid, be it scholarships or grants or work studies or loans. Aid for undergraduates just last year totaled $177 billion. $177 billion. Folks, what matters most is that you get all of the aid that you are eligible for so that you can attend the college that's the best fit for you. And there is one key form for all aid applicants. They need to complete it, whether you're applying to college or you're already in college. More than 17 million students will complete it each year. Spoiler alert, we said this up at the beginning, but it's called the FAFSA form. And again, the acronym stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Now, there are other financial aid forms out there, but the FAFSA form is by far the biggest and the most important. The FAFSA is literally the gateway to all federal aid, including grants, work study, and of course loans. It is used by the government to calculate how much need-based aid each student is eligible for. That calculation is based on the students and their parents' answers to questions about finances and other personal data. Now, the FAFSA data is also used by colleges and by states in deciding on aid awards to students for grants, scholarships, and loans. But it has never been a simple form to actually complete. So, fast forward to the biggest news of the day. The FAFSA has just undergone the biggest overhaul in 40 years' time. That's because 4 years ago, Congress passed a law, and the law was called the FAFSA Simplification Act, that mandated that the FAFSA form needed to become easier to complete, have fewer questions, and expand access to the federal student aid overall. Now, the revised FAFSA for 2024-25 was rolled out on New Year's Eve, that's December 31st, 2023, and it was rolled out with a series of glitches, so it was anything but simple. Number one on the list, it was 3 months late. And the other glitches center around access and technology issues, and of course math issues as well. This is not a short list. And as I record this video, the problems with the revised FAFSA are continuing. The biggest issue is very sobering news. The Department of Education announced just on January 30th, that's 2024, that it won't be able to even begin sending students' FAFSA data to the colleges until mid-March. This is a huge deal, and I'm going to explain why. But first, I'm going to explain just some super important things to understand about the FAFSA form in its new incarnation. There are 4 points I'm going to cover. Number one, there are changes to the aid formula and the terminology on the new FAFSA. So, on the previous FAFSA, a key figure was the expected family contribution, or the EFC. Now, the EFC set the amount of a student's and their families' contribution, what they were expected to pay towards college. On the revised FAFSA, the EFC has been replaced by the Student Aid Index, the SAI. It too is calculated based on students and their families' financial and other information. Now, it uses a slightly different formula to come upon that calculation, but it calculates students' financial need overall. Number two on my list, the revised FAFSA has fewer questions, but this is largely due to a new numbering method. So the question count is a bit of numerical sleight of hand on the Department of Education. We understand at the Princeton Review that most of the individually numbered questions on the previous FAFSA are still going to be on the revised FAFSA. That said, some students and their families will indeed have fewer questions to answer due to a feature that is built into the new FAFSA called skip logic. Now, the number of questions that one receives depends on the answers to the previous questions, so this could be a benefit to lots of students. Number 3 on my list, some students will be eligible for more aid and some students for less. Changes in the family income threshold and the aid eligibility formulas will mean more students will be eligible for federal Pell Grants. According to the Department of Education, it's an estimated 610,000 new students will be eligible for those Pell Grants, and an additional 1.5 million will be eligible to receive the maximum Pell Grant, which is currently at $7,395. Other changes in the formulas will mean that some students will be eligible for less aid. An example of that will affect literally millions and millions of families is the elimination of the multi-student adjustment. Now, some in the industry in admission and financial aid call that the sibling discount. Under the previous formula, families with more than one child in college got a break for having to foot the bill that has been removed on the revised FAFSA. Number 4 on my list, college financial aid offers will be delayed. Perhaps the biggest issue ahead is the timeline crunch resulting from the delay in the FAFSA rollout and the time that it's taking for the Department of Education to actually correct the glitches in the software and the mistakes in the FAFSA. The delay announced on January 30th, 2024 is the most concerning one. It is due to a mistake that was discovered on the revised FAFSA. Simply put, the Department of Education had failed to adjust the income exemption guidelines in the formula to account for inflation. So fixing the mistake is crucial as it will make more than $1.8 billion in aid available to students. Now, you're likely asking, what does this all mean to me? How is it going to affect me? Well, friends, this year, there is going to be a much shorter time window for, number 1, students and parents to complete the FAFSA. Number 2, the Department of Education to actually process the forms and send that student data to the colleges. And number 3, the colleges to analyze that data to craft their aid awards to applicants. Now, those delays will mean a much shorter time window for students and parents to consider their aid awards, applying for more financial aid if that's necessary, to do their deeply important homework to figure out which college will actually be best for them, possibly visiting that school a second time or even for the first time. And this last one is to meet the May 1st National College Decision Day deadline, to commit to the college that they're actually going to attend. Now, some have called the FAFSA delays devastating. Others have said that it would be unconscionable for colleges to require students to commit to them by May 1st for that National Decision Day deadline. Some are speculating that colleges may push that deadline from May 1st to June 1st. Others see it pushing out even further to July 1st. Friends, you're getting the picture here. It has been and it will continue to be a highly stressful year for everybody applying for financial aid and for every college, university, state agency, and others that award financial aid. We know this is going to be hard at the Princeton Review, and we want you to know that we will continue to monitor this issue and to update you with news and advice all about financial aid and, of course, about the college admission process in general. Friends, good luck to all of you in your next steps towards college. And please, please don't hold back. Share your opinions on this issue in the comments below. And as always, please do follow us for more information on financial aid and college research and testing and much, much more here at the Princeton Review. Rob Franek, Editor-in-Chief, signing off for today. Be well.